Navy personnel are more prone to depression and insomnia than any other active duty servicemen in South Korea's military. The mental health report, based on findings made by the Ministry of National Defense and released by a ruling party lawmaker Monday, revealed how stress associated with military duty branches of the armed forces differently. The findings are seen as an important reference point for manpower authorities who have to sort through a large number of new recruits who enlisted to do their mandatory stint in the military. The survey, which received support from Seoul National University Hospital, screened about 2,300 Army soldiers, 709 Navy personnel, slightly more than 550 Marines, and about 870 from the Air Force who answered the checklist from June 24 to December 31st last year. It shows smoking dependence among troops stood at 13.6%, followed by insomnia at 6.2% and depression at 5.1%. In addition, suicide risk for active duty personnel reached 2.3%, with PTSD at 0.7% and gambling at 1.1%, while smartphone addiction was relatively high at 7.8%. By service branch, Navy personnel were more vulnerable to mental health risk overall. In particular, the percentage of Navy servicemen who believed they had some sort of clinical depression stood at 8.2% last year, which is significantly higher than 3% tallied a year earlier. Comparable figures for the Army and Air Forces stood at 4.8% and 3.9% respectively. Regarding insomnia, 7.9% of sailors claim to be affected by lack of sleep, again higher than around 5% for other branches. Regarding the latest data, defense officials said the higher numbers for the Navy likely stem from long shipboard duties and other Navy-specific working conditions, adding that the service is carrying out various programs to help people cope with mental stress issues. Besides the Navy, Marines suffer from smoking dependencies, with the percentage of troops affected reaching 23.1%, well above the overall average of 13.6%. Marines also posted the highest rate of gambling at 2.5%, suffering from some sort of addiction. Meanwhile, excessive smartphone dependence was most common in the Air Force at 9.7%. Lawmaker who screened the report stressed that each branch's unique conditions must be reflected and that specialized responses for high-risk addictions like depression should be tackled without delay. They pointed out that dealing with mental issues is critically important for maintaining a military that can respond effectively to any challenges facing the country.